James Elia.
Welcome, James.
Afternoon, gentlemen. We're going to talk about the quote-unquote feeding the homeless ban that we have here in El Cajon. What are we doing? I mean, has it really come to the point where we're at? Mr. Colasso, please pay attention. Are we really at the point where we're that morally bankrupt as a society that we have to go through with banning feeding people in parks? I personally reached out to the CDC myself, and they said there's just simply no evidence that shows feeding people in a public area spreads hepatitis. There's no evidence of that. But there is evidence that shows if we don't have washroom facilities, we don't have sinks, we don't have bathrooms, we don't have proper places for homeless people to go, then we could run into some issues with hepatitis. That's the core of the problem. Again, I don't know what we need to do, what steps we need to take, but we need to put a little bit more humanity into this issue. Mr. Colasso did say that the solution was to simply give out gift cards, and that's the problem solved. Except did this council not vote the month before to put anti-panhandling signs all over the city? That's still panhandling. So what do? Do we violate one ordinance for another ordinance? Do we just say forget them and hope that they figure things out? I mean, we elected you guys, and I know in particular, Mayor Wells, you can come up with a really good solution for this. There are groups of people right now that really are fighting this thing. I mean, San Jose had a similar ban, and it was overturned. And I know there are some legal groups that want to get involved, but it shouldn't have to come to that. We should come to a fair conclusion. It's not a crime to be hungry. It's not a crime to be homeless. And so I just encourage you guys to really reconsider this and overturn it. That way we can just get back out there and freely serve the homeless like we've done for a long time. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mark Lane.
Mr. Lane, welcome.
How you doing? I too want to talk about the homeless ban, obviously, and then I have a secondary issue. I saw you on TV twice this week, and there was no pushback on some of the things you were saying. On KUSI, you said there's Hep A contaminated in the park, which simply isn't true, because if it was true, you wouldn't let other people play in the park. If it is true that our park is contaminated with Hep A, then you're negligent because you're exposing thousands of people to a deadly disease. I wanted to thank you for making me the guy your police supervisors went out to look for at the last food sharing. Unfortunately, I wasn't there because I had a prior commitment. I would have loved to have talked to them, but if they want to arrest me, I'm here. I'm guilty. I violated your food sharing ban 3 times. There's video proof. So if like Mr. Colasso said, we'd be weak if we didn't enforce it. I'm here. Because I'm going to keep doing it. I'm going to keep violating it. We can fight, litigate, because there's people that are ready to litigate. You guys got the letter from the ACLU, or we can sit down and talk. In Washington last week, the Washington Supreme Court overturned all the anti-panhandling laws, said that their freedom of speech to be able to panhandle. In San Jose, they did the same thing you guys did. There was pushback from people like us, and they overturned it, and now they've sat down with people like us to try and figure out humane solutions. We'd love to sit down with you guys. We've got people that are very knowledgeable. You've got a great resource with Mr. Walker, wherever he went, to sit down and figure out humane solutions. We can talk or we can litigate. It's kind of up to you guys. Because we're not going to stop. We're feeding on the 14th on Sunday. Love to have you guys out there to see what we're doing. You talked about bathroom facilities. Yeah, your bathrooms have been closed for, 8 months because of a sewer line break in the park. You put a trailer in that has a water line, so I don't know if there's a bathroom facility in that trailer for other people, but not for the public. And it's not about tough love like you said last night on KUSI because you don't love the homeless. You just want to move them to someone else's city so you don't have to deal with it. On a secondary note, I wish Mr. McClellan and Mr. Kendrick were here because I'd like to extend my apologies to all 4 Republicans up there, because after 40 years of not having a Democrat on council, this is what we offered you, and I apologize for that. It's really sad that our party is supporting and put up someone like Mr. Colascio. Mr. Kendrick, maybe you can give this message to him. I understand because of the redistricting that he's going to be running against on a runoff with Mr. Colascio, and if he is, I'll phone bank for him. I'll fundraise for him. I'll do meet and greets. I'll walk precincts. I'll do everything I can to make sure that that man is off, because just because you guys are Republicans doesn't mean you're bad human beings. He's a bad human being. And I'm ashamed that our party in the East County...
Sir, I'm sorry I had to interrupt you. Your red light's gone off. I apologize.
Okay. Can I get 10 seconds?
Sure.
I understand also that he may run against you, Mayor Wells. Although we disagree on a lot of things, I don't think you're a bad human being. And if he does decide to run against you, I will assist you with every effort I have to make sure that he is not on council after this election. And Mr. Colascio, this is where you can serve me if you want to put one of your retaliatory lawsuits against me. Your lawyers inspire zero fear in me. They really basically lose everything they do for you. So I'll leave this up here for you.
Doug, before we go on, could you explain the bathroom situation? That's come up several times.
So there is a sewer line break in the bathroom. That sewer line actually goes through the parking lot. We are looking at those restrooms. They're at an age where they need to be replaced, and so rather than just simply replacing a sewer line, a temporary fix, we're looking at a longer-term solution. We're looking at designing a bathroom that's more similar to those bathrooms that you see at a beach that have a little bit more visibility, that'll be oriented in a way that will be more easy for the law enforcement to ensure that there's not illegal activity occurring in those restrooms. There is a plan being worked on and funding being secured, but that does take time. In the meantime, we do have the porta potties. They are cleaned regularly. They are emptied regularly.
Michelle McCrory.
If somebody wants to get her, we'll put her on next. Let's go to the next person. Oh. Hi. Come on in.
Hi.
Hi, welcome.
Welcome. My name is Michelle. I am a mother of 4 children, 1 on the way. I was honored to attend the Break the Ban on November 19th in Wells Park, a park that my children have gone to. We bring our dog to. We really enjoy. That particular day, there happened to be hundreds of horses and horse manure and urine everywhere. But yet, there was supposed to be the problem of feeding those who are houseless. And basically, I'm here to say, I'm raising these children to have compassion, to care about those. We're a village. We take care of each other. And I'm asking to please break this ban, allow for us to help those in need and feed them and clothe them. And let's not be this horrible community that looks down and doesn't care about those who need us the most. Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Michael Dawson.
Well, Mr. Dawson, welcome.
Hi. I was at the Break the Ban event. My name is Michael Dawson. I've been a teacher for 10 years. I make mistakes daily. Students point out my mistakes, parents, administrators, my fellow teachers. This is healthy to recognize mistakes and correct them. After all, I point them out too as part of my job. Unfortunately, that's why I'm here today. I don't have the faith in this body yet to do the same. Let's work together to feed, support, and serve the homeless. We are public servants, all of us here, after all. I'm saddened that this board uses words like combat, fight, and other aggressive, punitive language and measures such as the food sharing ban towards struggling populations. I believe it's unconstitutional. I'm sickened by it. Shane Parmalee, who's sick, wish he could have come. Mark Lane, my brother in food sharing, and I are going to keep pointing out this short-sighted error to this council. We're not going to stop. Do the right thing, rescind this ban, and join us to help the neediest citizens that you serve. It's inhumane, unjust, and going to bring more and more bad PR to your great city. Let's work together. I'm here. I'd like to be a neutral party. I know there's some combative things going on, but I'm an Eagle Scout. I do believe in helping the community and working together, so just wanted to come and tell you guys I don't believe in the ban, and I will be participating on Saturday, bringing water and tables and helping out. I think that is the right thing to do, to help the neediest among us. Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Last speaker is Blair Overstreet.
Ms. Overstreet, welcome.
Hello. I'm also here to talk about the ban on feeding the homeless, and have a fellow teacher in the room. I'm also a teacher as well. And, I talk to these students each day about their responsibility to make the world a better place, and that an individual can do that, and that they have a moral obligation to disobey unjust laws. And I have done that on November 19th with some of my colleagues, and I will continue to do that. I will do that January 14th. I will do that January 27th. As long as that law is in place, it answers to a higher law, which is that we take care of one another. And I want to give you the benefit of the doubt that you chose to be in this position because you care about serving community. I believe that is why you signed up for this position. But I believe what's happened here is that in order to get rid of a problem that you saw as the homeless population, we used Type A as an excuse to sort of push them out. That you had problems in Wells Park, and so we're using this as a way to get them out. And I want to remind you that if we're talking about reconnection, as the previous speaker talked about, reconnection is about sharing food together, about taking what we have more of and giving it to people that have less of it. And what I believe is happening here is that you overstepped bounds. You made a law that is clearly unconstitutional, that will be overturned eventually. And right now it seems like what I'm hearing is a digging in of heels. And I understand how embarrassing it can be as a teacher to threaten consequences or to make big pronouncements about what I will and won't tolerate in this classroom, only to find that maybe I've been a little bit overzealous. And that, A, I have no intention of actually going through with that, but also that maybe I made a mistake, and to my colleague before. And what I believe is that we all need to think about, if we make a mistake, instead of trying to force through and dig your heels in so that your power is not undermined, then is that really what you got into public service for, right? We want to take a moment to step back and say, okay, I made a mistake, and to use data-driven, evidence-based solutions instead of a stigmatization that has occurred by this group in the press of a group of people that you serve. When we say we serve the people, we mean all people. People with homes, people without homes, people that we like, people that we don't like. These are the people that you serve. And I will continue to serve those people, and I ask that you do the same. Thank you.
Thank you.
No more cards.
Okay.